Hello guys, in our last video we spoke about depression, how to overcome it, and the rate of depression in youth. Today let's have a look at the cause of depression, right? So there are four main and major causes of depression. One is from biological and genetic factor. Second one is environment and social factor, and individual or personal factor, as well as spiritual. Let's break this down. So talking about biological and genetic factor, right? So the genetic predisposition, some people are predisposed to being depressed because maybe they have a family history of depression or mental illness in their family. So these people will be prone to be depressed compared to the normal people without the history of depression in their family. So when you are with this type of people, you have to understand that they are already predisposed to this, so they will more likely get depressed than other people. And the second biological reason is because of the neurotransmitter imbalance. So the differences in the brain structure and function, it also plays a role in being depressed or not being depressed. And thirdly is hormonal changes. That is why depression is seen in adolescent, because during adolescent period, people we all have hormonal changes during that time. And also this is why we have also postpartum depression, because after giving birth there is a lot of hormonal changes. Secondly, environmental and social factor. So the first one is adverse childhood experience. We all have different childhood, different experiences. So yours was not like your peers. So as we all grew up in different environments, we were exposed to different things. We might grow up in the same house, same country, but without the same experience. So with this being said, people who grew up in maybe a less privileged area or not so well off family, they are more likely to be depressed. And people who grew up with childhood trauma, and somehow everyone had their own trauma, but they differ one to another with different level as well. So this one will play a role in being depressed, in mental health in general. Social economic factor, like not being able to afford maybe school fees, or not having a good healthcare experience, or having extreme poverty, living in extreme poverty. Academic and social pressure, this is real. The academic and social pressure is real. Academically, from mostly from parents will pressure their kids to do better than them. Of course, it's their duty to do that, but that pressure can cause depression in youth. Social pressure come from, of course, social pressure come from the from social media, from our community. When we see other people doing better than us, we feel that internal pressure, and that pressure causes depression in some people. Another cause that is under environment and social factor is increased social media use. There are so many studies that have proven that being exposed to social media increase the rate of depression, because there you see unrealistic thing, you see what is not real, and everyone of course try to show their best on social media, and what you are seeing is not necessarily the real. It's called real, but it's not real. So don't let social media make you feel less to the point that you become depressed, because they are faking life. Not all of them, but the majority of them are faking life. So yeah. And then the fifth one is the family dynamic. Yeah, if you have a lot of conflict, a lot of wahala in your family, of course it will have a role on your mental health. Yeah. And then the global event, like let's say a pandemic like COVID-19, like it can be anything. The easiest example to find is the COVID-19, right? During that time, people were depressed and the rate of depression increased that time. The rate of many illness increased that time because we were all in the unknown. And thirdly is the individual factor. This include your own personality traits, right? If you have a low self-esteem, for example, or you are very negative, very self-critical, definitely you're gonna be depressed. Because if you have all this low self-esteem, you're so negative about yourself, or maybe you had a chronic illness, you had a sudden illness or sudden loss in your family, or substance abuse, all this individual factor that will lead to depression. And talking about personality traits, actually our personality is created from our environment, from our exposure. As you're exposed to a certain environment, it will make your personality. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, it is something that play a role in our personality. So it's all linked back to our environment. So last but not least is your spiritual. I was waiting for this so bad. The spiritual causes. The first one is neglecting God. Who do you think you are to neglect God? First of all, when you neglect God, you go far from your Creator, and of course, what do you expect? You will not talk to your source, and you will lose that connection with God. And secondly, spiritual laziness. And or spiritual laziness is like not putting in the effort to keep up with God. That's all I can say about spirituality. Or just being so lazy in pursuing God. That also is one of the factors that will lead to depression, because when you are away from God, anything can happen. You start hearing from the outside, you start hearing from what is not your source, and the moment you start listening to what's not your source, that's where you get lost, and that's where you even have a room to get depressed. Because if you are going back to God, God will tell you, don't worry, what was that verse again? I forgot. Put all your burden on me, and all you will be comforted. The moment you go away from Him, you get depressed. So biological factor, environment and social factor, individual and spiritual factor. Last time I spoke about like how we can manage it and get rid of this mental issue, because it's killing in silence. But when you know your cause among all these that I've mentioned, you will know how to go about it. If yours it's because of childhood trauma, then go back to dealing with those trauma. If yours is not because of personality traits, it's not because of spiritual laziness, it's not because of biological factor, then you need to go to those childhood experience. If you are to talk to your parents, talk to them to deal with it. If you are to go for therapy, go for it. It's worth it, because brain matter. Because if you're not mentally okay, you can't do more, you can't do nothing. You better fix your brain, you better fix your mental health, because it's all work together. Mental health, physical health, and spiritual health. If one of these three is dysfunctional, you won't be complete. So take care of yourself, guys. Peace, and see you next Thursday.